Before starting this video, I want to let you guys know that we at VintageGenetics.com have come out with some new oversized shirts, just like the one I'm wearing right now. Just did a leg day in it, wearing 3XL myself. As you can see, nice and oversized, also in different colors and different styles. Available on VintageGenetics.com, and use code RESTOCK10 for 10% off temporarily. Check it out, and thank you incredibly much for the golden support. What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today I want to talk to you guys about, did I lose size from the Olympia 2020 last year to this Olympia? And guess what, guys? The short answer is yes. I alluded to this in my previous video, my thoughts about the 2021 Mr. Olympia, but the truth is, yes, I lost size, but not actual muscle mass. I lost fullness in order to get conditioned at the Olympia level. Now, last year I coached myself, and the big error that I made was pretty much overcarbing. So that means you are overflowing with carbs, spilling over, that's what they like to call it, which means that you take in so many carbs and water and salt that your body can't only put it in the glycogen levels in your muscles, but also under the skin. So you literally are overspilling the muscle with extra water above the muscle and below the skin, hiding the actual definition of your muscle mass. And that is what went wrong last year. And I also had more fat under the skin, and fat holds a bit more water when fat is present in fat cells. The less fat you have, the less water you will hold regardless of what you do. So that's why this time we spent more time and more effort getting the fat as low as humanly possible, at least as low as possible for the time we had, to hold the least amount of water possible under the skin, so that when you do load with carbs, which I actually did, I loaded more carbs in total compared to last year, you don't hold the water because the fat cells aren't there, and I depleted myself so much more that there was actually a bigger supercompensation happening inside the muscle cell, allowing them to hold more glycogen compared to no supercompensation. What is supercompensation? If you deplete yourself for a long time, your glycogen, your muscle cells basically are more sensitive to taking up glycogen. So for a short period of time, they can take up more glucose, transfer it to glycogen, and being able to hold more means you can load more carbs and allow for that fullness effect to show on stage. So that is what happened this time, but I still weighed roughly 8 pounds less than last year, but I was a lot more conditioned. Now in this video, I'm showing you a couple of comparisons. I was more massive in 2020, but it doesn't matter how big you are if you don't show Olympia level conditioning. And one big part I've left out until now is that I have a coach who helped me drive down my body weight this time to a level I would have never done myself, because I would have been afraid of losing muscle. I would have been afraid of showing up flat on stage. But guys, the truth is, you have to have enough muscle mass in order to lose fullness and be flat and still look proportionate without weak points in order to get into the top 6 at the Mr. Olympia. And what I realized, because of my coach Stefan Kienzel, he drove me down so much that certain body parts became flat and not full, and they stayed flat even when loading up with the carbs, meaning that they simply don't hold enough muscle to be proportionate with the rest of my body. And I'm talking about my legs in general, because I'm quite tall. I'm almost 6'3", so I'm 6'2 3/4. That's what I measured at the Olympia. So I think I was the tallest classic physique competitor of the day. which means that the taller you are, the more straight-lined you look, so the more skinny you look, but skinny, you're not really skinny, but still, comparing yourself to guys who have very big and thick legs, your own legs will look a lot slimmer. And that is exactly what we're going to work on this off-season, and without the realization that I didn't have enough muscle mass in my legs, I would have always worried during the off-season that I can't gain that much muscle because I'm close to my weight limit. But in reality, I'm not. I'm at least 10 pounds away from my weight limit. But in reality, it's even more because I had a meal, I drank water, and I was fully clothed like this, and then stood on a scale, and I was 237 pounds at around 10:30 a.m. in the morning at the weigh-in registration of the Olympia. And I'm allowed to weigh 247 pounds. And on a good day, I'm allowed to weigh even 4 kilos more, so like maybe 257 pounds, 56 pounds, if they measure me at 6'3". So the biggest benefit of having gone through this incredible depletion is, and by the way, throughout the depletion, my upper body stayed full. On stage, my upper body still was nice and full. When I got a pump, it was nice and full. I didn't lose that amount of fullness there that I would think I would lose muscle. So that, because my upper body is a strong point, and I was very happy with my shape I was happy with my shape in general on stage, but I was happy with the fullness I was able to achieve in my upper body when I was pumping up backstage. I looked in the mirror, and when I compare myself to last year, the fullness of the upper body, when I got a pump, with better conditioning, it looked more impressive compared to last year with less conditioning. And that is very important. Again, the Olympia conditioning, guys, you can't escape it. You can be as full as a house, but in classic physique, because everybody is, they need to be really close to the weight limit, and most of them are above it, you have to dig deep in order to get that lean and that type of conditioning, which means that everybody's conditioned all the way to the glute striations. So that's what I needed. I achieved it, but it showed me once again what my weak points are: the legs, the glutes, and of course, because I have so much room to grow, I will make the entire body grow, but the legs will grow more in proportion to the upper body to show you guys truly a competitive physique for the top placings at the Olympia. So my goal for this Olympia before I did it was simply to get more conditioned, and if I would show up at the same fullness of 2020 with a better conditioning, I thought I would get in the top 6, but the truth is you can't have both. You cannot be full with carbs and very conditioned. You have to choose one of the two. If you want to go for a balance, then you simply won't have the conditioning to battle it out with someone like Bumstead or Rough Diesel or any of the top 6 guys, basically. So you have to be honest with yourself. If you reach that conditioning and you then lack the fullness, it's not about the loading phase, because I loaded in total more than 2,000 grams of carbs, 2,400 grams, so that is not the problem. The loading was not the problem. We even tapered down the water. We kept the salt pretty much the same, so we never removed salt. We even reintroduced it on the day of the show itself. I drank a little on the day of the show itself, so the loading phase was perfect. It felt good. I felt really great. I ate 9 meals a day. Digestion was great. My metabolism was high, and I slowly gained weight as I started loading, except for the first day I lost weight, and then the 2 days after I slowly gained weight, which means fullness without conditioning being sacrificed. So that was very good, and I have full faith in my coach that he made the right decision. And of course, we learn every single time from a prep, so every tiny mistake we made will be rectified, and the conditioning will be even better next time. But then the fullness I will show on stage will not come from more loading, because that's not necessary. It will come from more muscle. And that's what I have an entire year for, guys, under the guidance of a coach this time. Last time, pretty much this entire year, I didn't have an off season. You have to remember, The Olympia was last year December. And then I did the Portugal Pro in July, but for that I prepped for like 20 weeks. So I started at the start of April of this year. So, and the Olympia was in December. Recovery is about a month and a half. So what did I have? 2.5 months, not even 2 months maybe, of slowly growing because I purposely wanted to stay in shape to make the prep easier. So this year pretty much was a maintenance phase for my physique. And what that means is that I didn't gain really any muscle this year because I did 3 shows back to back with pretty much no months of an off season, which means that this off season will actually show a very different physique than last year and this year. And I'm very excited to show you guys. So to answer the question again, did I lose actual literal size? Yes. Did I lose muscle? No. Did I gain conditioning? Yes. Did I learn a lot about my body? And have I been transparent with myself also? Yes. And has my new coach brought me new insights and more, confidence in that I will grow into the next Olympia for sure using this off season? Also yes. His thoughts and his methods and his priority for health align very much with my own. So for now, it's going to be a maintenance phase, going to do a blood test, see if everything is back in range, see how I feel, see how my performance is, see how my digestion is, see what my weight does with an increasing amount of calories, and then we can start building again for months and months and months on end. And I will take you guys through the entire process. Yes, my body fat will increase, but not to a point where it's going to be negatively influencing my growth, because the more fat mass you have, the more insulin resistant you become, the more estrogen you will produce, and the less net muscle mass you will gain, and the more fat mass you will gain from the same amount of calories if you were leaner. So I'm not going to stay this lean. Well, if you can see it, I don't know. I'm not going to stay this lean, but I'll definitely stay somewhat lean. So the outline of the abs will be shown. The outline of the quad separation will be shown. But we are going for true power, strength, growth, fullness this year. And today, for example, I did a leg day, focused on the hamstrings, then did an isolation for the glutes, then did both compounds, isolating, well not isolating, but emphasizing the glutes and the hamstrings as well. So today was a hamstring and glute day, and I haven't really had those last year at all. All days were pretty much quad dominant. And I also will have a quad dominant day, of course, focusing on that quad sweep. And the rest of the workouts, the back is never a problem. Apologies, I just had my 200 grams of cream of rice to grow. And the chest won't be a problem. The arms will grow as well. I want to bring a dominant classic physique with dominant arms, a dominant chest and back, with good proportionate increase in size, legs and glutes with ultimate conditioning. And with the lessons I've learned, with more experience, with a wiser method of doing everything, with a coach who wants to see my shape and my weight every single week, it won't be a problem. This is where bodybuilding starts. The shows are simply the end product, and now we are working on a better end product of this season. And guys, once again, thank you so much for the support. By using the 2 methods you guys have been supporting me. Well, first of all, the most important method is watching these videos and following me on social media, giving me the incredible mental and verbal support. But the 2 other methods are visiting vintagegenetics.com for the old school apparel, and also, for example, going to the jackedfactory.com, link down below, use code Wesley to get 20% off every single supplement on the website, just like this incredible pre-pro series pre-workout, which I've used for this leg workout and helped me do a lot more effort than I normally would do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for the incredible support, and a lot more content is coming. Anything you want to see, comment down below. Another Q&A is coming as well, so what you want to see in terms of subjects or videos, comment down below. And if you have any questions, also comment down below. And the next video will probably be a Q&A, getting everything out of the way. And then the next video after that will be probably the most voted up subject that you guys want to see. Anyway, once again, don't forget to stay golden.